Good morning, Evo learners. Welcome back to HPE Discover 2025 live from the showcase floor. I wanted to take the opportunity to do a kind of a final wrap-up video. It's the last day of the show. The first session that I went to yesterday morning was the HPE Aruba networking session, the general session. And really what they were focusing on was that message, the security first, AI-powered network. Which is, the network's the backbone of every business now. So you have to think about security, and because the networks, especially in the kind of the AI age, they are more important than ever before, and they're getting more complicated than ever before. You know, AI loves data. You need a lot of compute, and you've got to move the data around to the compute. And any problems along any part of that infrastructure piece kind of cause you issues. So we want to be making sure that that network is secure and is fully optimized. So I think it comes as no surprise that the main focus was on the agentic mesh that we were talking about yesterday. The big difference was yesterday it was mentioned in the keynote speech. Today we got to see actual demonstrations, live demonstrations of the agentic AI mesh in action on the big screen, so super impressive. And I think that from a sales point of view should give you an idea as to how capable it is and how confident we are in its capabilities. So from a sales point of view, get Central in front of your customers, get them to see it in action, show them the demo, show them the videos of the demos if you can't do the live demo. But it is really impressive. So what they were doing was they were showing off the Copilot capability, which is the chatbot, so that you can chat to your network in plain English. You don't need to understand the protocols and the syntax. You can ask it questions in plain English. And then what happens is it shows you the agent's reasoning. So what they mean by reasoning is it says thinking on the screen. The agents will show the operator on the screen their thought processes, what they're looking at, what they've found out, and why they're coming up with their outcome, with the solution to fix the problem, to optimize the network, to warn you about the security breach. It shows you the stages and then presents the operator ultimately with the option to, click here, and then I will achieve the outcome. I will do the thing that I have suggested that you do to make your network better. And even the outcome that it shows them in the chatbot is in Aruba Central format. So it looks just like the interface that they're used to using for normal management. They get the same buttons, the same kind of interface. There's no need to click away or go anywhere or learn anything new. You just click on the button on the screen. And the idea behind showing the reasoning and then presenting the options to the operator is obviously what we want to get to is that stage where the network just is self-healing and self-automating, self-optimizing. But of course, a lot of network admins have been manually running networks for a very, very long time. And it might be a huge wrench for them to suddenly change the way they're operating the network and hand it over to an AI. I guess think about how, you've been driving your car yourself for many years, and then all of a sudden, are you going to feel comfortable getting into a self-driving car? So it's kind of a bit like that for the network operators. So what it's doing is showing the reasoning. This is why I'm doing this is what I'm suggesting, and here's how to fix it. And the idea is once they've seen that happen lots of times, they'll kind of get used to it, and they'll actually understand, it knows its stuff, it knows what it's doing. I will just automate it. I will just leave it to get on with it. They were also talking about that capability now going into the SASE solutions, being able to chat to a Copilot and use agents from a security perspective. So that's a good addition. And finally, they were talking about, because we now have the ops ramp capability within the GreenLake platform, that means that HPE Aruba Networking Central can also see outside of the network. All of our competitors with their management software, even if they have AI in that management software, just look at their little tiny part of the network. But of course, the issue actually could come from somewhere else. Just because the users are complaining the application's running slowly, it might not be the network causing that. It might be the storage, it might be the servers, it might be something else. We can use a technology within GreenLake to actually look outside of the network as well in a multi-vendor environment. So again, to really help troubleshoot that network and keep it optimized. So I think there's a good sales opportunity for everybody out there talking to customers to talk about HPE Aruba Networking Central, and let's face it, everybody's going to be thinking about AI at the moment. So the Agentic AI mesh is really going to provide a lot of benefits to the customers. Let's face it, the network is the thing that we all love to complain about. If the network doesn't work, or it goes slowly, or it keeps dropping out, or I can't get on it. That's what people complain about. So the network really is about providing the experience to all of the users, the customer of your customer. So the fact that the network with the agentic mesh can be, always optimized, always secure, always on, just governs itself, is going to be a huge benefit and a huge time saver for a business as well. They're not going to have all of those trouble tickets and people complaining. So that was the first bit. The second session I went to was the HPE Morpheus VM Essentials software session, which kind of kicked off with them saying, Broadcom have done us a very, very big favor with their pricing shift on VMware. There are a lot of customers not very happy. So it's an ideal time to talk to your customers about HPE Morpheus VM Essentials as an alternative. It's quite interesting, the history of Morpheus has been around for 15 years. So if your customers are a bit reticent about, adopting a new virtualization technology when they've been so reliant on VMware for all this time, actually, Morpheus is a well-established product as well, using KVM hypervisors, which again have been around for a long time. So it's a tried and tested technology. One of the speakers was saying he was speaking to a customer whose VMware bill has only gone up by 200%, because that is one of the lowest increases that we've seen. Whereas if you look at HPE Morpheus VM Essentials, that can reduce their licensing costs by 80%. This is quite compelling just from a financial point of view and how much they are going to save on the licensing costs. It's also licensed per CPU and not per core, so they can use very powerful servers with high core counts, but still only pay per CPU, so it can run a lot more VMs for them and do a lot more with less. And in fact, one of the big messages is this is also the ideal opportunity. A VMware refresh can lead to a Gen 12 refresh as well for those customers, because we know some of the statistics are amazing. What is it? Something like a 26 Generation 8 servers can be replaced with one Generation 12 server. So you think you're going from 26 servers, 52 power supplies, all the power, cooling, management, licensing to one. So I mean that's instantly you can see the benefit of that from a sustainability point of view, a management point of view, a licensing point of view. 52 CPUs down to 2. There's huge benefits with an upgrade at the same time to Gen 12. So that's well worth talking about. But obviously the key message is Morpheus VM Essentials itself as the virtualization platform, and to make it easier for customers to migrate to Morpheus. Morpheus can now actually see and manage the VMware environment from the Morpheus VM Essentials screen. So customers can kind of transition away from VMware to Morpheus VME on one screen. And now Morpheus VME comes with the migration built in to take that VMware virtual machine to a Morpheus virtual machine with a couple of clicks. So it's very, very easy for them to migrate as well and start saving on their licensing costs, being made very easy. Another newer addition is the HPE Morpheus VME software is also now available as just software that will run on other environments, being validated and is validated to run on competitors' servers, as an example. Again, customers can adopt HPE Morpheus VME now, even if they are not an HPE house, but obviously we want them to be an HPE house because there's some good reasons that you would want that better together message. So there is a huge opportunity there. But the other big opportunity is essentially HPE Morpheus VM Essentials is the same piece of software as HPE Morpheus Enterprise. So the full platform, the license just unlocks the hypervisor capability and the migration capability, but it gets that in front of the customer. And what happens if they go up to Enterprise? When we're talking training, we talk about, increase your maturity and maturity modeling. We can make the customers kind of much more mature in how they govern their environment, because they're going from, a virtualized environment to HPE Morpheus Enterprise, which is pretty much designed to be a platform ops. That will help you orchestrate anything. It will help you deploy your workloads on any type of platform to any type of location. So it can handle containers, bare metal, virtualization, and it can get those deployed onto on-premise solutions, cloud solutions, public cloud vendors and providers. It really is the anything to anywhere platform ops software to completely modernize that environment. I think I saw a stat that it speeds up deployment of workloads by 150 times because it can do it in a few clicks. So really becomes that real enabler for an IT department to run the workloads. And of course, what we do is we couple that with the capabilities that we have in other platforms as well. So, again, OpsRamp can observe and see all of these solutions and where there is spare capacity and where should we place this workload, what's the most efficient place. So it goes hand in hand with cloud physics that's been around for a while. But if customers are wanting to make a move and you want to talk to them and advise them on the best place for their workloads, the most cost-effective place for their workloads, the most optimized place for their workloads, you can offer them a cloud physics assessment, because cloud physics is that piece of software that can be installed into their environment in 15 minutes, and you leave it running for a week or two to analyze their environment. It gathers the telemetries and it works out what's running where, how much resource it's using, why it's using that resource, how much resource is it costing, so it can provide a full report back. A customer might find out that a department is paying for a very, very high-spec, high-end virtual machine, but only using a fraction of its capacity. Cloud physics will tell them where it should be moved to save money. And guess what? Morpheus, with a few clicks, will move it. So it's a great tool to kind of look at the customer's environment and then actually demonstrate how we can optimize those environments for the customers, and then move up to the full Morpheus Enterprise platform ops suite to kind of really modernize their environment. So there's some really good messaging around HPE Morpheus VM Essentials. I think you're going to see more on that. Those were really the main two sessions. Obviously, I had a look around the expo floor here, and I've looked at some of the other technology. We had talks on El Capitan, on direct liquid cooling, new AMD server platforms, new Wi-Fi 7 platforms, private 5G as well is an interesting one. So there's a lot going on at the show. I think that's it, guys. I think I shall wrap up from fabulous Las Vegas and look out for more training sessions coming to you.